Hi everyone again, it's Samuel, playing Dear Esther again. Now, it didn't stop or anything, and didn't let me get a chance to pause it by the time this other one, another section of speech come up. So you might have to pause it to read it or something. It's about halfway through it at the moment, so I'm sorry about that, but there's nothing really I can do about it.
Kilometer using my ordnance survey maps. I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turnoff for Sanford and the welcome break services. But although I can always see it in my rearview mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
I live near the M5. Yeah. Fight the machine. I'm not going any path, I go straight down the middle. Interesting idea. Am I supposed to get onto the ship or carry on around?
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
So he's hinting me to go into the boat. Maybe there's a sprint button, so as I get a bit too slow. I keep hearing noises, very artificial noises. Get up here. No. Where did I go then? I was supposed to get onto the boat. Pathway there, maybe I'll go to that patch. Doesn't seem to be getting any darker or lighter.
It's only at night that this place makes any sluggish effort at life. You can see the buoy and the aerial. I've been taking to sleeping through the day in an attempt to resurrect myself. I can feel the last days drawing upon me. There's little point now in continuation. There must be something new to find here. Some nook or some cranny that offers a perspective worth clinging to. I've burnt my bridges. I've sunk my boats and watched them go to water.
This just goes back up to where I came from. I don't know where to go. Is that a way up? Way up there. They said that it hints towards which way you should go next and everything, and it doesn't like try and keep you in a linear path. It might always just shows you the way slightly, and I don't see any of that. I have no clue where to go, and it's so big and we walk so slow that I'm not entirely sure where to go. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe people are just saying right now, "It's that way, over there. Why aren't you going over there?"
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
I haven't a clue what that means. It's a big hole there.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore. The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Don't know what that is. Anybody home?
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
I been down there? Is that where that car part was? Car doors. Wow, it looks so cool.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
I don't think this is where I was before. There was a lighthouse where I was before.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the Bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
It's a lovely image.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the Bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Wow. This does look like something I can enjoy. Ah! That was a bit... and a bit... I think this is the fall he was on about. We've only been going for nearly 15 minutes, 14 minutes something, so I think we'll carry on.
From here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. I can hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
Wow. Ah, it's broken. There are some candles. I think this is another chapter, so what I shall do from here is stop and I shall join you again. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I shall see you soon.